liftoff.
So with these Veluxes, the first thing you need to do is establish your bottom batten. So from this row of slates before my opening, the top of this batten has to be 80 millimeters from the back edge of this tile, not the batten, the tile. Sometimes, not always possible, as I found out, because the window on the other roof was way too big for the space we had, but I had to work with it because that's what we had. So establish this first. I believe that worked out at 100 mil from the top of batten to top of batten. So I spaced them evenly, and then these have to shoot on 250 mil wider than your opening on the bottom. I screw these on just in case I have to move them, or if you've done something wrong and you need to rearrange it. But yeah, screw this bottom batten on first, 80 mil from the last row of tiles before the window starts. Okay. Once you set your bottom batten, then you want to measure from the top of the height of the window plus 45 mil in the height. Okay, so that if this is an 1180 plus 45 is 1225. So the distance between the top of the bottom batten you put in and this is 1225, and this has got to extend 100 mil on each side past the window. So 250 on the bottom each side, 100 on the top each side. The next step, I think I explained the framing of the windows. I always leave plenty at the bottom. That's my double trimmer there, see? And it's not to support the window. The double trimmers here, top and bottom, are to support the rafter that gets hung off them, okay? So give yourself plenty of room in case you want a splayed reveal. So I'm doing a splayed reveal on the bottom, but because we're so close to the top and it's such a low pitch, I can't get a level splay at the top, so we're not going to bother because we couldn't do it on the other one. So we're just going to do them all to match and just have a square reveal at the top. But in your width, because you have to use insulation collars, definitely go for the full 60 mil clearance. So it's the width of the window on the box plus 60 mil, and that gives you inside to inside of your double trimmers. Then I just feel where the edge of my double trimmer is, and what's the easiest thing to do? I just used my see that truss clip thing there? I just slide that under the end of the timber, between the felt and the timber, so I don't damage this felt. And then I just multi-tool it off. So yeah, trim all these flush with your double trimmers, double rafters, and then look across. I know that's the last one I've got to trim. So I've done that now, and I'm going to do the same over there. Right, so when you fitted your top and bottom battens and then trimmed all your side battens, I just got to do that one quickly, and then I'll show you the next step then. So once you've got all your battens trimmed and your top and bottom batten fixed, you want to feel for that corner there, and you want to slice through the felt. Use a line for guide if you want, to about there, then go across and into that corner, and then from that intersection up to the top, and so on and so forth. So I'll show you what I mean now. I can't do it while I'm filming because I'll probably go all winky. All right, like so. And then that folds over there. So yeah, you got to do the same affair along all the rest of the three sides, and then that middle bit will drop out. Your opening should look like this now. So all I did was just staple it around and then trim it off neat. So the next step now is to find the insulation collar, clip it together and drop her in. So I'll show you that now. They're a bit weird to put together if you've never done it before, and the instructions leave a lot to be desired actually. Great product, Velux. Instructions could do better. So these are what your insulation collars look like. So see that bit there? The metal bits at the top. Okay, so they always need to be to the top, and you have to dig in there. Look, can you see it? That L-shaped bit clicks into that L-shaped bit. So I'll just do that now and show you what it looks like. Right, so once your insulation collar's in like that, see, and that, it's now time to unbox the window, take the sash out, fit our brackets so we can fit the frame in. What I will say is always do 60 mil on your width. It says 45 to 60, but I would always go 60 because, I mean, it feels quite loose, but once that window goes in, it compresses everything out and it's a nightmare to get in if you don't allow enough room. So just bear that in mind. I would always go 60 in the width and the full 45 in the height. Well, oh, what's that? Ooh. Apologies for that, dudes. I couldn't film it because they're bloody triple glazed, man. And they weighed a ton and the heavens opened. And they've got a load of, they're the electric self-opening, self-closing ones. And I had to get them covered up pretty quick. So I got as far as the insulation collars. So basically it's just a case of chucking your brackets on. Usually you have to determine what flashing kit you're having. There's a blue line and a red line. We're using the profiled tiles. So they're already pre-machined, all the holes and everything. They didn't used to be, but they are now. So it's pretty self-explanatory. So I don't need to explain that. And it's just a case of plopping them in. And then I fixed the bottom two brackets first. And then you square it up then with the top two and then send him home with the big screws through into the rafters. So I'll do that now. So yeah, you need to put a 30 mil screw in there and a long one in there, 30 mil screw in there, long one in there, and then go inside, check it's all square and your margins are nice. So look at your margins, then measure from corner to corner. And then sometimes if it's out of square, your longest corner, you want to be putting a wedge in that side to wedge it over to make the longest corner shorter so that it equals, they're both the same. Does that make sense? Yeah. And then once you're happy, then you know it, and clap your hands and chuck a big screw down into the rafters at the top and you're done. So margins are all good on the inside. So I've fully screwed everything. So next step is the felt collar. Should I call it a collar? Yeah. Felt collar. So with these, they've, to be fair to Velux, their products are brilliant, aren't they? But they've gone all fancy schmancy pants with the felt. I remember when you used to have to make these yourself, but no, this is like all pre-folded and stuck. So you basically peel this plastic off and stick it to the back of there, and then you go poof. You know, like those magic tents that just spring open. That springs open and you pull it down, and do you know what? Usually you staple it to the side of here, but this has got all the gubbins for the special automatic opener, and it's metal. So I think I'm just gonna have to stick it with, it's even got now as well, like a EPDM rubber tape thing that sticks to the side. So that should stick lovely to the metal. So that's my next step. Once you've got your felt collar wrapped around and unraveled, you peel this so the black tape's exposed, stick that to there like that, and then just gently pull the cover plastic off and stick it to the side of there flush with the top and work your way around. So once you've done all your sticky, you've got to mold these around your battens and staple them so that your tile lugs can still sit behind there without fouling on the taut felt. And then I'll show you. I'm not one of the ones that just throws these in the bin, by the way. So I'll show you how to fit these properly, because a lot of people, they end up in the garbage. I don't blame them because the instructions aren't the best, but I think it's definitely worth putting in because it acts as basically a gutter. If any water should get under your tiles at this point, it goes into your gutter and then falls down the side and out down here. So it is worth putting them in. Plus, if you had any issues in the future and your customer came and then they rung Velux and they said, well, did he put the gutter in? And you say, no, well, then you haven't got legs to stand on of you. So yeah, I definitely advise you put these in. So with this gutter, you want to put your over felt collar thing underneath it. I always go tight to this batten under here and screw the bottom end first. Make sure it's on the rafter there, and then fix that through. And then on this side, it's got to be a minimum of 3-degree fall. So just do it by eye, man. That's plenty there, isn't it? Can you see that's falling quite a bit, isn't it? And I've still got enough room to cut my felt underneath to lap it into there. So that's fine. So I'll do that now. Then when you put it fixed in place, I run a black mark along that edge there, see? And then when you get to the, just inside your double trimmer, or double rafter, sorry, I point to there and then Same on the other side. You can see that arrow pointing to there and the line across. Then unscrew this, and then you do a slice down there to the end of your felt and across. So I'll show you that now. So there's my mark there and my other mark over there. So now I just need to slice down there, and it's got to sit in this channel. So I'll slice down there, whatever that distance is, and it'll sit in the gutter then. It's about 50 mil, I think. So yeah, I just get my knife. I can feel the edge of my double rafter, slice it there. There we go. And then same on the other side, and then go across, and I'll show you the next step. So now I've sliced that, look, so that flaps. So you pull that back, refit your gutter. Yeah, pull that back, fold this down, and refit your gutter over the top of this. I'll show you, don't worry. And it should look something like that. So that was your overfelt, and then this is your normal roofing felt, and it goes into the gutter. There's the transition, and now we just got to glue these edges with the special EPDM tape then, okay? Again, it doesn't give you much information on this, but basically the only place that water could get in is by there. So I sort of do a dam. It's pretty malleable, this stuff, so you push it right in. So if it hits there, it will run down on that angle and run down the side. So basically, I'd say that's it, dudes. And that is what it's meant to look like. Oh yeah, and these clips, obviously, I forgot to show you that. They just pop into that channel to keep your felt nice and tight in there. Right, dudes, well, it's the next day. I didn't film any of it because I was like puffing and blowing and sweating, and it was absolutely smashing down with rain. It was biblical, actually. Lovely day today, though, at the moment. So yeah, I managed to load out and tile all this roof. So if I turn you on now and just show you what I'm up to today, so we can finish explaining how to fit the Veluxes, because we're doing the flashings and all the cuts around today. So yeah, let me just spin you around. Got all our roof tiled. I've just gone to the nearest slate, and then we'll trim all these in, because you can't, obviously you have to put your flashings on first, but it all worked out nice. There's no crappy little cuts to deal with, but problem is with these, they don't sell tile in the halves for some reason. So you basically have to, I use OB1, and you basically have to bond them together, because that's the only way to do it, really. But I've done it loads of times in the past, and once they're stuck with that stuff, they're never coming apart again. That's how I did that one over there as well. I'm starting off doing the hip cut. So I've just installed my hip batten on top of there, so I can, for one, it gives me a guide for my marking my cuts, and two, obviously it's a dry ridge / hip system, so it gives you your fixing then. Sometimes you have to go higher than that, so especially with profile tiles. So, but at least it gives you somewhere, if you need to pack it up more, something to sturdy and strong to fix onto. So that's all in, ready to go. So set myself up on the roof, because I can't be bothered to go up and down a ladder all day. And basically, yeah, I'm gonna trim all these in on both sides, and then I'll show you how to do the flashings for these Veluxes. What? So I've done all my hip cuts. Them two at the bottom need bonding, because again, there's no tile on the halves. Such a weird angle, this hip, that there's no lugs. So and the eaves comb is just not letting them sit right, because they're too light to squash it. So I'll sort that out later. I've done 1, 2 flashing kits. I was getting carried away. Thought I better show you how to do it. So if you're using profile tiles, then all your flashings can get fitted before you do your cuts around the window. But if you're using slates, they use soakers, so you have to do your cuts as you're going up the window. But this is a good example, because I'm using profile tiles, so I can just show you how to fit the flashing kit without too much hassle. So the first step is, because we've got profile tiles, let me just lift this. So you've got to basically cut diagonal to take out these humps, so that the water can track back down, around, and back down there. But there's a maximum you can go, so it's 130 mil from there to there. So what I'll do now is I'll just mark 130 mil there, 130 mil there, join the dots, and then cut these back with the angle grinder. And you've got to cut every one that's in line with the window. So I'll have to cut this one as well, even though it's past the window, but it starts in line. So yeah, that one to that one. All right, that's my first step. So that's my 130 mil marked. So all I got to do now is I'll start my grinder there and I'll cut so that it intersects with the flat bit there. Okay, that's what it looks like with all the chamfers cut on there. So now we're ready for the bottom flashing now. So I'll get that out now and show you. So that's what the bottom flashing looks like. And then you also need this piece, which you screw through the both ends to lock it all in place. So if I lift that up, hello, is it going to stay? Yep. Might have to just take these two tiles off a minute so I can get that underneath. 2 secs. So that's the bottom flashing, and then if you push it down, there's some conveniently pre-drilled holes, so as long as they all line up, that's in the right spot. So to hold this in now, we've got to put that one over the top, and it locates with these like rubber holes into that hole there and that hole there, and then you screw through, screw. Simple. So as you can see, that's in there, it's all located. So now if you're using an impact driver, just go steady, because if you just smash it home, it'll distort it. Just wait till you get a little bit of torque. Sorry, I'm doing this one-handed while I'm trying to film. Screw there. Screw there. Now what you want to do is mold. I don't use a hammer. They say you use a hammer, but it squishes all these ridges really bad, and I don't know. I just don't think it looks very good. So I just prefer to stretch it out by hand, make sure it follows the contours of the tile. With this bit, make sure you turn that up, and there. So that's the bottom flashing done. Now it's time for the sides. So these are your side ones. The bit with the fingers missing at the top goes at the top of the window, and you basically just drop him on. You see that fold there? You need to push it down and then slide it forward till it hits that stop there, like that. See? And that's it, basically. That's that side done. Whoop. And this side, again, pop it on, slide it to the stop. Not too far though. There we go. Too far, Tommy. There. And then just crack the tile. And then, and it's starting to rain. Oh, Jesus. Now it's time for the side flashing. Now with the, I forgot to say, this is the fancy schmancy pants top opening. So even though it's pivoted from the middle now, that's just for cleaning, the manual for cleaning them. When it's fully shut, it's got remote control, and it top opens really high, actually, about there. So you have to do away with the side tops that come with the flashing kit, and then with your window you get different ones. So I'll just unbox these now and show you how they're a little bit different. The difference is this twisted DL here. This is like a pneumatic thing, and then this chain comes up, so it basically allows for that mechanism there. See, so what we've got to do with this is hook it under the window there. There's a clip there that goes over, so that's hooked in now, and then you just got to push that up, and that's the side one done. And I'll just do the other side now if you didn't get that. So get your rubber seal bit under that lip, twist it, bring it down, clip that clip over, and then from the bottom just fire it up. That's that in. So the next step now, because again these have got I'll just unbox it now. These are different to normal as well, because it's got a rain sensor there. So if that gets wet, it automatically shuts the window for you, which I think really cool, isn't it? I love Velux products, I've got to be honest. They are super duper. Yeah, I'll just unbox that now and show you. These are the top covers. There's the clip for the rain sensor, and these are dead easy. You just see that little black thing there. You just slide that notched bit up into there, and then that just slots down and clips in. Just do the other side. slot it up and clip it in. Right, now it's time for this very top piece. This is different again. I think it's because of all these gubbins in here, all the electrics. So let's get that on. So usually this is in one part, but it's in two parts. So this basically locates over the top of all that, and there's a slot there with the screw there, a screw hole there. So that's where eventually they all get screwed down through there. So I might have to stop the video to get this on because it's a bit fiddly. When we've got to this stage, there's the rain sensor's in a little bag. And to be honest, I don't know why. Sorry, Velux, I was bigging you up a minute ago, but I don't know why it's probably a reason for it that I don't understand, but why is there so much slack when all you've got to do is go from there to there? There's like a polystyrene thing there with like a place to bed your wires in. So I just assume you go like that, clip that into there, make sure this cable doesn't go in front of that screw hole, because you'll be in trouble then, when because you'll screw straight through it. So I kind of just keep it that side of it and then tuck it into there like so. And then afterwards, after I fitted all the top bit, I just feed that back up inside, because look at all that. Don't understand really why they need so much cable, but there we are. Right, now it's just for this top piece now. So that's the top bit located on. It just slides behind that bit, look. And then there's just one screw there and a screw there to do. Again, don't go mad, because you'll just pull everything out of shape. Just nip it up like that. Same for this one down here. And then just have to do the other side then. That's it. And then the last bit to go on is this top bit, which can be a little awkward as well. So basically that just slots on top like so. And then you've got this tab here that's got to slide through there like that. So get that side located. And then push that down and forward. Get that side located. Now you've got to really push it down so it laps over that. There we go. You should hear it nicely firm up and click into place. Same on this side. Right, that's in. And then fold your tabs down on both sides. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is it. Oh, there's one last thing to do, actually. That's these little things here, but they're dead straightforward. So it's just to keep this flashing in place. You hook over there and then wang a screw through, and just do that on there, and the top. So that's it, guys. It's pretty simple, really. Like I said, the slate one's a bit trickier, because you've got to do soakers, soaker slate, soaker slate, soaker slate. But the tile ones are dead easy. So this is ready for me to trim all my tile cuts round tomorrow now. I'll probably get crucified for this, guys, but an easy way to tell if the person doing your Velux has fitted the proper gutter above the windows, you'll see that a slice through the felt about 50 mil from the top of the window. Shh, I didn't tell you, okay?